We still got to do the intro. So.
Oh, and look at this. Look at. Can you see it? Look at them. Look at the Nuggets getting spanked.
At the half, they can come back.
Yeah, getting spanked.
They can come back.
That's who you want to send Dame to? Oh, but y'all are beating the Pelicans. Fuck.
They can eat. Well, one, let's not be disrespectful now to the Raptors because we did stay. At least I told Freddie they can beat any team in the league.
Yeah, they can. They got the wing. They got the wing depth to do it.
Exactly.
You know what? They understand the importance of wings. Portland didn't. Hey, I'm ready for the intro.
DC the beat man. DC the beat man.
So epic.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm Reese. I already know where I am. I'm here. Free Dame. All my young ones. Let the intro run just like that. Free Dame and all my young ones. I'm here.
Oh, that's a nice little segue on into the episode. that matters more so for the ending. So the King slander. I don't know if I want to do that one right now because Freddie's not on it. He was the main one slandering. So I don't know. What's your thought? Like, did you have many reservations? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't expect them to get out of the first round depending on who they come up against. But
well, yeah, that's the kind of shitty part about it. It's just like they are the 2 seed, but it's like people don't really respect them as a 2 seed. And for one thing, they can't. I mean, a 3 seed, but for one thing, they can't guard shit. Like teams are scoring like 140 points on them niggas. Like when they can score 140, it looks good, but when they can't, it's like damn. Like Giannis giving them 50 and 12.
Yeah, I was looking at the standings and I noticed that their point differential is like the same as Denver and like Milwaukee and stuff like that, but they have to keep scoring. Like that defense is gonna catch up to you in the playoffs. So I think
I'm about to say, yeah, and the funny thing about point differential is it's not in comparison to like other teams, it's how you are facing in your games, right? So it's like if I'm scoring 160 and the other team is scoring 150 and the point differential is 10, but Denver is scoring 110 and holding the other team to 100, you know what I mean? It's kind of like
yeah. And it's funny too because the team, like the Nuggets and Bucks, right? Defensively, they're like in terms of point differential, they're the same. The amount of points they allow is similar. Mm-hmm. So like when I see how the Bucks did against the Kings, I'm like, all right, I don't know if they're gonna go further than the Nuggets, even though people try to discredit the Nuggets sometimes. Like again, like when you guys talk about, or more so Freddie is talking about like Jokic and his defense. I'm like, I don't think Buddy is as bad as he really as you're trying to make him out to be. Like
I just think he's slow.
I mean like, he can be slow, but I mean like I saw him guard. Who was it?
Cam Johnson ain't got no bag.
I hear you, but he
don't have a bag, bro.
I ain't saying he's an elite player. I'm just saying, based on Freddie's assessment, if I'm listening at Freddie, I'm thinking Cam is about to go stupid on Jokic. And like that doesn't happen. Like he knows how to play defense. Like I just realized the banner was on Kingsland. We're gonna change it to value in NBA assets. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. So when we talk about assets, right?
Well,
I'm not saying he's elite.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can. I know how to dunk. I can't. I know how to. I understand the concept. You know what I mean? But I can't. Like, I mean, it is kind of like it is what it is.
I feel like y'all are discrediting the boy, but all right, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, Embiid gave him 50.
Fair, but I mean, he also gave Embiid a triple-double, too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know that doesn't mean shit. It just means
that's crazy.
It doesn't mean shit. That means his teammate.
We
It just
say
means
it's
his
not
teammates.
mean shit, but at the same time, that's the reason why we gave Russell Westbrook MVP because he averaged a triple double. It does mean
At
something.
6'2". At 6'2". He did it as a 6'2" guard.
Triple double.
Again, but it didn't. He lost though. he gave a triple double, and also to give somebody a triple double just means your teammates made shots when you gave them the ball.
See, so I feel like, and I've heard people say too, oh, like he just passes the ball to like an open.
No, his passes are great.
Like he makes the right reads, and it's like when we say that, I feel like we're discrediting him and his game. Like that's tough to me. I understand.
I don't know. I feel the way. I feel the way about Chris. I feel the same way about like Chris Paul and the pick and roll. It's just kind of like he's making the right read, but at the end of the day, if Chris Paul gave it to Bismack Biyombo 100 times and he did not score 100 times, then it's just like, okay, Chris Paul just doesn't record an assist. You know what I mean? Like that's the assist thing for me. It's just kind of like guys have to make shots. You can put them in the best position possible, but you have to have decent niggas around you to get a triple-double. You can't get a triple-double playing with just scrubs. Russell Westbrook arguably did it playing with.
I was about to say, people try to credit that OKC team, which you got, who was it, Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis. I didn't think he had scrubs. Steven Adams, I didn't think he had scrubs on the team.
No, I want scrubs, but like, they weren't all-stars, because that's what they give Jokic, right? He didn't have an all-star teammate. Russell Westbrook didn't have an all-star teammate. No, not even a sub-all-star teammate. Like, that nigga was out there playing with folks.
All I'm saying is Victor Oladipo was given somewhat comparable numbers to Jamal Murray. I think he was given like 16 that year. Jamal's at what, 20 this year? I'm just saying.
That's not comparable.
Is better.
That's not comparable. That's not comparable, Trey. We're talking about 16 versus a dub.
Try to fight for Russell a little bit, all right? Like, we did a we went bad at him.
You know, like, literally, I love, what's crazy is I love Jokic because he does the one thing that Jayson Tatum won't do, and that's post up and go to the basket. So it's like, I personally love his offensive game.
At 6'11", 300 pounds, like, I don't know if you want, like, he's supposed to do that, though.
I know. I agree. So at 6'10", 220.
Which I feel like that 6'9", 6'10", he just got there because at Duke, he was definitely listed at 6'8". And then entering the league, he was definitely listed at 6'8". Get a little stronger now, so you got to give him some learning curve time. Like,
years.
It's been 6 years. He hasn't had this same body type for 6 years. Like,
yeah.
Giannis
didn't either. When Giannis went from
still, he don't got the bag, so he can't rely on as much as Jayson Tatum does. Giannis literally will go downhill, attack, euro, and then dunk. Like it, the man did it for 3 back-to-back plays now.
I know, but I'm saying he was doing it. Giannis was making those type of moves prior to the body. He was preparing himself for the body.
Man, he don't have the same bag like that. So at Duke, I saw Jayson Tatum be a finesse player. He hit you with that mid-range. Transitions over to the NBA as well. I never saw that finesse game from Giannis. So
it's not finesse though. It's brute force from Giannis.
That's what I'm saying. To me, Giannis always had to rely on that brute force. Like you have to rely on your length because if you don't got that finesse game, what do you have? You don't have that.
Like how long do you give him to get used to a body though? Like it's still his body.
I mean, Giannis to this day can't shoot. How long are we giving him? Like,
I'm not giving him shit.
Okay.
But Trey, that's what I'm saying. I don't give $250 million players shit. Okay? You're off for 4 months. 4 months, and then you have an entire season. If you cannot develop XYZ in 8 months of the season and 4 months of the off season, it's just not you when you're making $250 million and you don't have to be complete. And that's okay.
Okay. When you're saying like you don't give them shit, I to a degree I do hear you. You know, there is a big investment in these players. I feel like though they're humans still in the day. Mm-hmm. And I know how I am on a daily basis. Like some people gotta, realize how they are individually and think, okay, well, there's gonna be a learning curve for players. Like it's new for them. Like Jayson Tatum, yes, we know he can go downhill and bang a little bit, but that also is a wear and tear on your body longevity-wise too. He needs to find that balance for him. And again, personally, I think he's going from a finesser to somebody who you want to bang. Like that's not the easiest transition. Someone like Jimmy Butler, he's not necessarily the most finesse type of guy, and I thought he was always that like banger, and like he's come a long way, but still he doesn't give me that. All right, like I'll expect Jimmy to knock down the clutch one, but like a three ball, I might look at Tyler Hero first. With Jayson Tatum, I might look at JT first. In terms of banging though, I might go JB first. It's just of a what it seems like their nature is. I don't know, like and
Right.
I think like assets and you said player development too. It comes over time. So like,
but then I think
impatient.
the expectation is based on your role, right? So like face of the franchise guys have a smaller window, or they have a larger window in terms of leniency that a team, because once you invest like top dollar, you're expecting, you know, an ROI at least within X amount of years, right? And so before, you know, guys who are on 1 year deals, you know what I mean, things like that's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take a chance to see. Right. Like for example, when we picked up Derek White, although, and again, the Celtics love doing this. We love picking up guys. We can't shoot, and we go get guys who can't shoot. So Derek White is probably the biggest like testament to what an off season of legitimate work can do. He was not the knockdown shooter that he is today at all last year. And he had been in San Antonio for a good minute, you know what I mean? But never developed a catch and shoot game because he was primarily the point guard, you know what I mean? The ball was in his hand. He was really shooting off the dribble for the most part, right?
His ball,
playing next to Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, it's like to get the best out of this asset, hey, I need you to develop a catch and shoot game because that is when you're going to be getting the most of your shots. Now, for a face of the franchise guy, we are building this team around you, but you still have to be able to check these boxes for the team that we built around you to work. It's like, you know what I mean? This isn't 2K. I can't just make a trade and be like, that didn't work, and then just go make another trade. You know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? It's times in between things that you have to consider. And they get time, but I don't know if I think they get too much time.
So how much time would you say? Because I think you also got to factor in the success that you guys have had, right, Reese? Mm-hmm. When you look at it, y'all have had a wonderful little tenure with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So like from a player development standpoint, both him and Jaylen Brown have continued to evolve. So I guess what would you say is like a fair time frame for Jayson Tatum to evolve to that next stage that we're looking at? I feel like you got to give him at least 2 seasons. At least 2 seasons.
2 seasons with the body. So we're saying this season and next season.
Yeah, I think that's fair because now we're talking about Jayson Tatum. Was he not 25? So we're talking about Jayson Tatum 27. Like,
yeah. So I'll include Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown in this conversation, right? And the only reason I will is because they were drafted in the same situation. There were 2 superstar players basically ahead of them. So it's like kind of similar to what we were talking about, giving guys an opportunity to kind of grow into their man body. You know, you have that opportunity, but for a guy like Devin Booker out in Phoenix, he had the ball in his hand from day one. You know what I mean? And he was allowed to score 70 points in a loss. You know what I mean? Those are not the type of luxuries that you get when you kind of are drafted by a winning organization, and especially a winning organization that was actually built to win when you were drafted. So it's kind of like
y'all had a lot of success though. So like I feel like we at the point now where like I said, he just trying to take that next evolution. I know you want to have him get there, right? Like y'all got to the finals last year. So like what would you, I guess if you had to put a time frame on it in terms of years, like would you expect that next year to hit that next stage, I think, in terms of packing the basket a little bit more, utilizing the grown man strength and body?
I don't know, it's kind of like I get it, but it's not. I'm not seeing a curve towards what I want to see. I guess that's my problem. Like I hear you in terms of giving him time. I would be more willing to give him time if it looked like he was trying to do it. His free throw attempts are up. His free throw attempts are up. Don't get me wrong. His free throw attempts are up. I still feel like he could be a 10 free throw shooter, like 2 attempts per game guy. He's hovering around like 7 to 8 right now. You know what I mean? I personally feel like but he's also shooting 10 threes. If you give me 3 less threes and 3 more attacks toward the basket, that's all I'm really asking for. That's really all I'm asking for. Is 3 less attempts 3 more drives to the basket. It'll open up more lanes for the guys around you. Maybe his assist numbers go up. It doesn't have to equate to him getting to the free throw line. But obviously, we know the game is easier the closer you get to the basket. That's a fact. There's only one man in history that has made basketball, well, 2 men. I'll give Dame that respect too. There's 2 men in history who have made shooting from 40 look easy. And Jayson Tatum don't even shoot from far. He's shooting at the line, Trey. So even with his grown man strength, he's shooting foot on the 3-point line.
Yeah, it's not like he's fair. To be fair, Clay did it too, and he's shooting from the line. He makes it look nice. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying though. But Tatum ain't making it look nice.
Hey, all I'm saying, Reese, is 2 of 5 from the 3 looks a little nice. Like that's.
But ending 3 for 11 looks awful, and that's the point.
I got a lot of that was at the OT, and he was jacking. Like he was efficient from that 3-point line, dog. I don't know what to tell you, but like I do hear you though. You wanna. It feels like I think you value him so highly that you want him to be producing immediately. And I feel like sometimes we forget how old these guys are. Yeah, he has a child, like you know what I'm saying. He might be a little more adult than us, but like he's still young. He's still younger than us too, though. You know what I mean? Like so, there's probably some maturity he's got to go. He's going up against grown men.
I get it. Like I'm not trying to discredit the success the Celtics have had, but we've had a lot more participation. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we get to the finals last year. That is the biggest accomplishment, obviously, right? But those Eastern Conference Finals losses weren't pretty. They didn't look good. I mean, we lost in heroic fashion, in tragic fashion, and I just feel like if you're going to be shooting 10 threes a game, I need you to be shooting 20 within the arc. And he ain't shooting 30 times a game. He's playing with another wing who is shooting more within the arc based on percentages. And I'm not just being biased, Trey. I checked the shooting splits.
When you say percentages, when you say he has better percentages, what you mean?
No. I'm talking about shots like literally attempted within the percentile of the 2-point range. Yeah, Jaylen Brown's averaging 10% more within the line than Jayson Tatum is. That's a big percentage when you consider what they are both shooting from 3. Neither one of them are shooting it well from 3. We're talking about 35 and 34%.
But JT, to be fair, is winning, and I think taking a few more shots. So I mean, if that's the case, maybe he's a better shooter, and they realize that, and they say, "Fine."
But that's what I'm saying, though, Trey.
You do.
35%.
Maybe they value him that way.
35 to 34%. He's taking 3 more shots. Is he the better shooter, or is he just shooting more threes? I'm talking 35 to 34%, Trey, with 3 more attempts. That's a lot more attempts in terms of you just making basically 3 out of 10, as opposed to Jaylen Brown making 2 out of 7.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do feel like Jayson Tatum is the better shooter.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying if we're gonna talk about numbers,
I mean like in terms of like when I look at them, okay, personally, I'm gonna go JT. JT right now should be the better player. You know how I feel about JB though, in terms of like who's who and what's what. But from a talent perspective, JT's the better player. So I mean, I feel like they value JT more as a shooter than they do JB. JB is better at going downhill. They can switch it up, but I mean in terms of their nature, I think that's how they value them that way. It's just like it's similar to how when we bring up Cam Reddish, I value Cam Reddish as like a long-term prospect. And I think Freddie does too, but he valued the players on his team more because of the fit that they had. Right. So it's like, I think it just depends on how you value the players. Like you value Jayson Tatum as, all right, you're the guy. So I need you being the one who's attacking. But like you've alluded to a couple times, and again, like I said, JT is T-Mac, JB is Kobe. So by that measure, I might want JB attacking more.
T-Mac was still getting to the rim.
But here's the thing, though. So did JT, because again, JT in that one game we were talking about, right? He gets to the line 6 times.
Yep.
Now I know that. Now you told me that him and JB were doing the same thing, and just he was getting calls for it. JB wasn't. But what I took from that was, okay, they both are attacking. JT's hitting. Cool. I can rock with that. Like, I don't see two. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. I'm not. You are. I just. If Jaylen Brown was 6'10" and Jayson Tatum was 6'6", I'd give it to him. You know what, JT? Shoot 10 threes. You're 6'6". But when you're 6'10", you're 6'10". And I'm telling you, you're going to get space on those three-pointers if you attack the baskets. People are going to have to start giving you a step. And when they give you a step, that's all the space he need anyway is a step.
Well, look. Let me ask you this, and let me ask you this then. I know you don't like your team's evolution, but then you do sometimes. It's tricky. We don't got to talk about it too much. How do you feel about the Grizzlies? Like, because again, for the record, Ja Morant in like 3 to 4 incidents over a span of a year. Like, one of them Jones was 4 days from when it happened. Like, it was July 22nd, and then like after that, July 26th, he had another incident. So now he stepped away from the team, and that's he had the gun charges, or not the gun charges. He had the gun incident. He had the incident with the kid. Like, your mom calls you up saying, "Hey, the 17-year-old who needs to be handled, doing too much."
Right.
Now he stepped away. What's your expectations of how they're going to handle Ja Morant, and your expectations of the Grizzlies? Because I don't know if people have been peeping, but the Grizzlies are currently the 2 seed in the West. So right. I mean, at some point in time, we got to start really having this conversation now. Is Ja Morant overrated? Is he expendable? Like, is Buddy tradable? Like, because I'm sure there are some teams that would take a chance on Ja Morant and would sell the farm. This is a young asset, but is electrifying too. And we've seen some players like that get injured. So what's your take on the Grizzlies handling this issue, and then your expectations of the Grizzlies going forward as a team?
So I'm gonna start with the Ja Morant thing. They announced it today that he's entered into a program to seek whatever help that he said that he spoke about in the post that he made. So shout out to him for doing it. Regardless if it was kind of like pushed for it, it ain't a thing to do. A lot of people, especially in our community, getting help is never shined upon in a great light. You know what I mean? But and then to talk about the trade piece you kind of threw out there at the end, I'm gonna just say this real quick. If anybody gonna make that trade, it better be Dame moving to Memphis and Ja going to Portland. That better be the move.
All I'm saying is Ja Morant, Shaedon Sharpe. Hey, dog, let's move on. Keep going. Reece.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Somebody gonna make a move
like that.
Portland, right? So the issues are real. You know what I mean? Whatever people are saying, like, Ja don't hang around the best people and this and that. I personally feel like he comes off as very impressionable, and he also at the same time comes off as a menace. Like after they say 3 strikes you're out. I mean, honestly, after the second one, you're just like, wow, this guy is really just doesn't care. Like, he is a menace to society.
You think it's tough? Not caring versus ignorant. I don't know. Like,
same thing. You gotta care to come on now, to get rid of your ignorance. You gotta care. Like,
I mean, but you can be ignorant and because he knows better. Like,
he knows better.
Here's my thing. I come from a similar situation as Ja Morant. I understood what lane I need to be in. Like, all right, I came from the suburbs, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I actually in church one time got asked, do I want to join a gang? I haven't given me a sales pitch right quick. I'm always curious. You never know. And I was like, nah, in the day, like, I'm good. I know I'm comfortable in this, but I was curious about like the gang life. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to fake the funk. I'm not going to act like I'm hard. Fun fact, I've never been in a fight. Close thing, I came to smacking somebody, and that's because he hit a hat off my head. Like, that's like, I stay in my lane. I don't try to like hurt like that. And for someone like Ja with his money, with his power, hopefully he's learned, which he should have known already. But again, you're ignorant sometimes because fame gets to you. Hopefully he's learned now. He's the boss in his family. Like, he needs to help. He needs to make sure. Okay, like you disagree?
Yeah, he's not the boss. I personally feel like
he should be. Let me say that he should be. The reason why,
and like you said, his mother called him to handle something. Yeah. I'm giving Ja the blame, and I'm giving his parents the blame.
Well, yeah, it's his family that's involved. Like, too many people had access to him, and I feel like in that situation where people are depending on him, you are the boss in that scenario. So you have to remember that.
When you put that type of pressure, on a 19-year-old, these are the things that can happen. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, his father should have never given up the boss role. At the end of the day, I'm still your dad. I don't care if you are making that much money. You about to blow the bag, my dog. Like, I mean, at some point you gotta. And listen, kids do what they want to do. At the end of the day, they're still a kid. They still do what they want to do. But
Morant's job right now is to give good counsel. But end of day, Ja Morant is the one that's on the floor, not T Morant. Ja Morant is the one in them endorsements. So therefore, he's the one signing them checks. I don't care what T Morant says. T Morant could say, "Hey, Ja, don't spend a dime." And guess what? He can drop 2. So it's like, it's all.
I get it, but again, though, I feel like it's kind of how you're raised. Jayson Tatum's mom is his manager and accountant. Jayson Tatum, fun fact, and this is a fact. He said it on a podcast. He has not spent a single dollar of his NBA contract money. The only money that he's allowed to spend is endorsement money. But why? Because come on.
But he made the decision, though, to let that happen. He's the boss end of day. Like, yes,
he allows him to respect to his mom, though. It's a respect. I feel like it's a respect thing for his mom and the things that she has sacrificed to put him in that position. A lot of people value things differently. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong what Ja is doing, or that he's not absolved of anything that's going on, or that his father or his mother isn't. But at the end of the day, I respect the hell out of my parents to the extent where it's like, I understand their opinion ain't them just trying to be my mom. They've lived, 20 more years than I have. They literally just know more than I do. Right. You know what I mean? A lot of kids these days, guys our age, feel like we know everything, even though there's people who've been on the earth 1,000 years. You know what I mean? Who've lived this shit, even though the world is changing, obviously, with social media and this and that. But at the end of the day, the hustle is still the hustle.
Yeah, but see, I guess when I look at a boss, I feel like just because you're the boss, that doesn't mean you don't listen to other people. Like, I feel like a good leader, a good boss, does get input from other people because in the day, like you said, we don't know everything.
Okay.
So
I thought you were saying
Tatum as Ja Morant. You said what?
I thought you were saying boss in terms of an
No. Like, he has to know that everything essentially starts with him. Like, anytime anybody wants to run their own business, and they're asking for him, okay, well, they need money to start that up. Right. And, like, it comes from him. So if what he's doing or what anybody else is doing is hurting his brand, you are the boss. You need to let people know, look, this is how this is impacting myself. You can do what you want, but it cannot come to myself. So that's what I mean by, like you said, Jayson Tatum seeking good counsel, and rightfully so. Like,
right. Well, I was going to say, too, before we go, my expectation for the Grizzlies is to get bounced in the first round if they don't have Ja Morant. That's my expectation. They don't have Ja, they're getting bounced in the first round. Yeah, first round. I don't care who they're playing against. Matter of fact, who would they play against? They would play against the 6th seed right now, the 3rd seed. They play the Clippers, they're getting bounced at 5.
The Clippers are wishy-washy as defenders randomly sometimes. So, I mean, they could sneak in something.
So that's why I'm leaving the 5 games.
They're 2 seed right now. They go up against the
currently.
Currently against the Wolves or the Mavericks if the season were to end today and they go in like that. Obviously, you got to play in.
So I think the Mavericks take the 7th seed and beat them in 4 games. Luka would beat a Ja-less Grizzlies team with the help of Kyrie and Porter. I personally think the Clippers would also beat them in 4 games if that was the case. They would be lucky to play the Timberwolves and they would still lose that series in 6 games.
That's tough. I think maybe the reason why they could lose that is because they won last season. You got a little rivalry factor going in. Maybe the Wolves are a little more motivated. But then again, this Grizzlies team is fairly deep too. So I think if Anthony Edwards is that dude that we're expecting, maybe he helps carry it over the hump. But I can understand why the Grizz go out in the first round.
Yeah.
I can see them surprising some people though and making it out of the first round too.
If they play Dallas, if they play Dallas, what chance out of 10 are you giving them to beat Dallas without John Morant? And Brandon Clark, who has a ruptured Achilles, who was not returning. They don't have a backup 5 anymore. Steven Adams is out for the regular season. He'll be coming back in the playoffs after not playing 30 games. Obviously, he's not like a shooter or anything. He's a rebounder, but he's still going to have to get up and down the court after not playing for like 20 games.
The only reason why I say the Grizzlies got a shot against a team like the Mavs, right? Mind you, I felt the Mavs had a chance to beat the Suns if everybody's healthy, and I still kind of feel that way, but I still feel like the Mavericks have issues. And I think the Grizzlies could expose that. Like, I don't believe the Mavericks are as good of a defending team as I thought they could be. And that, like we were talking about with the Kings, you can score all you want to, but in a 7-game series, you're going to have to stop somebody. And I don't know if the Mavericks can, even without Ja, can stop the Grizzlies. Desmond Bane he is hooping. Jaren Jackson, who I used to be scared of putting down in FanDuel for 10 to 15 points, has been stepping it up a little bit. So it's like, when I'm looking at those two now, and Dylan Brooks seems to actually be playing decent basketball. I hear you. I see you on the shaking the head part. I don't want to bank on people like Dylan Brooks. Is it possible, though? Like, I mean, Dylan isn't a bad defender. Like, that's what he's most known for. So you throw him on Luka. And then after that, can Desmond contain Kyrie? And then who go? I mean, can I turn Kyrie? Kyrie down for getting 25?
Have you seen his arms? Desmond Bane does not have the foot speed or the wingspan to keep somebody in front of him, and he damn sure cannot keep Kyrie Irving.
Got it.
Kyrie Irving.
So again,
you know who Kyrie is.
If I can keep Kyrie to 20 to 25 points, I'm cool.
Why do you think that he can keep him to 25 points?
It's not going to be him all game because you got to think he also has to score. But I don't think Desmond Bane is a bad defender. Like, I think
he's not a bad defender, but you have to have exceptional intangibles to guard Kyrie Irving, period. You have to have something different about you, and he doesn't have it. Again, he has T-Rex arms, and his feet don't move fast enough.
You got that heart. I think the boy is quick.
Heart don't mean shit, bro.
It's on defense. You need effort in order to be a good
Kyrie Irving, Trey. I'm not talking about him guarding Anthony Simons, bro. I'm talking about Kyrie Irving. Bro, in my opinion, Kyrie is the best scorer in the league right now.
And I'd say keep the boy between 20 to 25 points. Like, I'm not saying shut him down. If you're telling me you don't think they can keep them between 20 to 25 points, and it's not him as the primary defender to the entire game, but fourth quarter, yeah, it's probably gonna have to be Desmond.
What other guard defenders do the Grizzlies have?
Let's see.
I respect Tyus Jones. He's not. I mean, again, you need to put somebody with some size on Kyrie because he's a wing in a point guard's body. Like, they don't have nobody, Trey. They don't. They ain't got nobody. It's not a knock at Desmond Bane. I'm literally talking about Desmond Bane versus the best scorer in the league. Like, it's not a knock that he's not gonna be able to hold him. It's just like, if he does hold him, if Kyrie is fasting, he got him. As a matter of fact, if Kyrie is fasting again, he got him. You got me. If Kyrie is fasting again, you got him. And even then, Kyrie gave the Celtics, the best defensive team next to the Warriors, 40. Desmond Bane is not a comparable defender to Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Al Horford. And Kyrie gave that team 40.
So on the Mavericks, Kyrie's giving them 28 a game. And I'm saying they can potentially bring that down to 20 to 25. Like, Reese, if we force the ball out of his hands, you have Dylan. I like Dylan.
How many assists is he averaging? He's averaging 6 assists, right? You force the ball out of his hands.
7.
That works. That's fine. Points responsible for it.
Not necessarily, because I just saw Tim Hardaway Jr. not be able to carry a team. So for real, if I gotta make someone else beat me, if I gotta make someone else beat me outside of Kyrie and Luka, and I just saw someone like Timmy struggle, I don't know why.
When he was the one guy
get it right with Jason Kidd and the coaching, like I would have question marks on the Mavs. Like, all right, let's make someone else
struggle as the one guy on the court. It's not his job to perform when he's the only guy. It's just not his job. Did you not see him play the Suns? What did he do against the Suns?
So Jaden Hardy can perform and do something, but like
Jaden Hardy has been, bro. You know how high I am on Jaden Hardy.
But I'm saying Tim Hardaway, a professional, someone who's been in the league, can't give me more than that. Like we can't do.
But it's not his job though, Trey. That's what I'm saying. He is a predominantly catch and shoot scorer. That is what his game has turned into with Luka. I'm not saying that he shouldn't give you more. I'm saying that only thing that Buddy been doing is catching and shooting. Because that is the Luka. When Luka is, if Luka is the earth and the moons and shit is moving around him, you know what I mean? And or he's Saturn and Tim Hardaway is one of the rings. You know what I mean? That's what he is. He's just a ring. He's not a planet.
I guess I expect more from Tim Hardaway Jr. than to be able to attack the basket, maybe give me a couple of assists, help run the offense somewhat. Because I've seen him do it before. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But you say first round. All right, cool. The trade that you were talking about.
We don't have to entertain that. It's not going to happen.
So would Portland be the destination that you? No. Would that be the best destination, or was that just something?
I just want to save Dame because he doesn't want to save himself. You ever had that friend that won't get out of that abusive relationship, and you just know, and they know that they need to get out of it, but they just won't seek help and get out of it? Dame won't seek help. Instead, he's going on a media tour talking about how he doesn't like the ring culture and about everything that he's achieved in the league and stuff like that. It's kind of like, just because people want to see you win a ring and you want to die in Portland, why are you upset with people wanting to see you win? That's ridiculous. That is crazy to me. That's what he's upset about.
It's not they want to see you win. It's they want the culture to continue. Like, people knock the decision by LeBron James, and then people knock the decision by KD to join the Warriors, and he's anti that. And like, now people like they made a whole cartoon anime out of Dame and tried to like slander him a little bit.
But Trey, my thing about it is though,
we didn't have all this.
Trey, he's 32, bro. He's 32.
So
Braun was 25. KD was 27, 26.
Him wanting to create his own legacy like Dirk did for the Mavs.
Is it not created? Dirk won his ring at 32. Damian Lillard is not.
Look, all I'm saying is,
Trey, can Dame win the ring?
Rather value that one championship than joining a super team. I can't knock him for that.
Who said it has to be super?
So
we're saying go get some help. He could go anywhere.
Sales pitches.
What?
I am certain Damian Lillard has made sales pitches to other players. And guess what?
They don't want to go to gloomy ass Portland, where the unemployment rate, the rain don't stop. Like, what are we talking about? Nice. Portland is not somewhere you want to go if you're going to the West Coast. It's just not. The weather's not good. Like, have you ever talked to people who live in Portland?
Yeah.
They don't like it.
So I'm gonna say this. I was told they do like it. Hey, look, Reese, and it was one of them. It was one of them. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Maybe
if I take a mouse and I raise it in a box for its entire life, it'll never know anything outside of that box. It won't even dream about the things outside of that box because all it knows is that box. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna leave the audience with that right there. That's all I'm gonna say.
The other boxes. That's what I'm saying.
I want to see Dame win.
all right, so full disclosure, 'cause I got a video coming out for it, some prep work right now. But like, I personally believe within 3 years, so that means by the time Damian Lillard is 35,
Yep.
he has a legitimate shot to win one.
How? You give us a spoiler. Just give me three bullets. Give me three bullets.
Hold on. Let me do this. I'm gonna pull up the boys right quick.
No, I got you. Look, and this is not included in the bullets. At 35, what is Dame's stat line? This is not including your bullets. I want to know at 35, what is Damian Lillard's stat line? Because this season he's averaging more points and assists, I think, on his career, right?
Yeah, he up there a little bit. He's at 32. All right, so I'm feeling at 35. At 35, I got like a casual 20 to 25 ball, like a nice little. I feel like.
So you're saying Dame is gonna win a ring without being the first option? Well, so who is gonna
hear me out? You said snippet. Pay attention. This part might get a little tricky. I can't determine if they're gonna keep Simons or not. I do like Simons. They could keep him or they could flip him because you know what? Somebody else sees some good potential with him, right? If they can re-sign someone if they can re-sign Jeremy Grant, that goes a long way. I'm expecting Cam Reddish and Shaedon Sharpe to develop nicely. I like the Matisse Thybulle addition, and personally, for whatever reason, he decided to now pull some threes and hit them bad boys occasionally. So if I can keep him on the squad, I like Justice.
They want you to think that he's shooting and making them. In reality, he's just going 1 for 3. It's not like Buddy's going 4 for 8.
But he won't even doing that on Philly. So it's like,
yeah, Philly's a tough place for people who aren't cut for Philly. That's just a fact.
So now I got a better product with Matisse Thybulle.
But even in that game they played the other day, where they got their ass blasted by the Pelicans, he played like their best defender. Won't defend him shit. Like, I mean, at some point, you gotta put the ball in the basket, because from a confidence standpoint, Tony Allens don't survive in this league no more. It's just a thing. They don't.
I don't think Matisse Thybulle is a Tony Allen. I don't think they were giving him a fair shake over in Philly for whatever reason. Like, and it's disgusting because he would have been one of their best perimeter defenders, or if not the best. So it's like,
I don't think anybody was arguing that though. But like we were talking about in the value and assets conversation, he had a window. Philly had championship aspirations, right? The Celtics actually traded Matisse Thybulle to Philly, and the Celtics got Grant Williams in that draft, right? Philly wishes they kept Grant Williams, because from a development standpoint, they're looking over the bridge and they see literally two guys. Remember, Grant Williams was being called Ben Simmons in Boston. Like, it was a running joke because he had missed his first 25 threes, right? So now you got Grant Williams and Matisse Thybulle, and those are the two guys that are going to be compared to each other. Grant Williams went bonkers in Game 7. Matisse Thybulle was on the couch, not shooting threes, because he hadn't developed a jumper.
So
is that not fair?
So for me, I feel like, remember we were talking about Jayson Tatum and how you always need to learn, right? Mm-hmm. A simple thing as to shoot the ball, right? Like, I get you. I hear you. You just pull it. Like, you should be in the gym all the time. I get that. There is a confidence factor that comes along with somebody who is not a traditional shooter. Like, they're not comfortable with that. You got to get to that comfortable level. Now, we all look at professionals like, yo, why are y'all not doing this? It's a lot on the line for them too. Like, if you start missing too many shots, that affects your paycheck, that affects your contract. Let me figure out stuff that I can do. He's probably now getting to a point where he's comfortable taking the shots, and I feel like that's showing with the work. Like, I've been practicing my shot a little bit more, so now I can throw that thing up and let it fly, and I'm more confident.
But I guess, and from Philly standpoint, again, I'm talking about a guy, Grant Williams, who missed his first 30. You see what I'm saying? Your confidence, for a guy like Grant Williams, his confidence should have been under the ground. It wasn't.
But how was the team working with him, though? Again, it's a similar thing with Cam Reddish.
Grant Williams spent his money and hired lethal shooter to learn how to shoot. You know what I mean? Anybody can go pay for a shooting coach in the offseason. You have 4 months, Trey. Again, I'm not going to give excuses to guys anymore in this day and age with how elite sports medicine is and the science behind it all. I can no longer give guys excuses. When you have 4 months of being healthy, and you're healthy in off season, it'd be different if Matisse Thybulle was, banged up, injuries, out for the whole off season, can't train or anything like that. But that wasn't the case, bro. And we know that he's an elite defender. You already got, I would argue, 75% of the pie. All they needed you to be able to do was hit a corner three. Williams, and not until this season could pump fake and dribble and make a move, right? But that's after last season being, if I catch it, I'm pulling. But again, the season before that, it was okay. The season before that, it was god awful. You know what I mean? I'm talking about two guys who were traded for each other, drafted at the same time, and were expected to be 3-and-D wings. Period. End of story. Period.
I don't know, bro. I feel like end of day, teams kind of do a disservice sometimes to the players. Yes, players should definitely do stuff for themselves. You got to work for yourselves, but not everyone's like that. Like, we know that all the time. I saw an interview with Chris Paul where he was saying, basically, hey, I know what the people are going to do. They know what we're going to do. It's just Chris Paul pays a little more attention to detail. So I look at it that same way. And sometimes people need organizations to help them out. Like, yes, they do get paid millions of dollars. That doesn't mean they're going to be dedicated to it. Some people are just good at their job. Some people are naturally good at their job. So like, when he goes to Portland, I don't like that. All I'm saying is this, bro. We have two examples of two guys starting to turn their careers around, or at least seeming to turn their careers around, in Cam Reddish and Matisse Thybulle. And it's on the same team. So if I'm looking at something like that, I'm thinking player development is actually occurring.
Cam Reddish didn't get the early opportunities that Thybulle got there. Thybulle got the opportunities and fumbled it. You're saying that guys should be looking to the organization for help, and you just said, which is baffling to me, it's not their fault if they're not dedicated. You literally said the word dedicated just now. If you're getting millions of dollars to play a game,
it's not completely their fault. Like, bro, you gotta remember these are guys who don't. Not everyone in the NBA loves basketball. Like, not everyone on their like, at their job really studies to get certified to go to get higher and paid, or try to get a new job or a new title.
And like, that's when you become expendable.
But it happens, and people still keep their jobs though. Like, so I feel like that can happen in the NBA too. And again, you said he has 75% of the pie. So how can 75% of the pie become expendable so quickly? You mean tell me I really can't find any use for this man at all? I can't encourage this man to go shoot threes and make this man go shoot threes? Like, for real?
But when you make the game harder and you make the bit, if we want to compare it, we're going to compare their industry to our level down here, right? Yeah. You're not making those steps, right, to advance yourself at whatever point, right? We're working on the project together, and you are becoming a hindrance to that project. Why is it not fair to cut a hindrance out of a project? That's what I don't understand.
You can cut a hindrance. My thing is he a hindrance to the team, really? Because again,
he was making the game 75% offensively.
If he's bringing 75% of the pie, your words verbatim.
Yes.
I cannot imagine that. All right, we can cut him because offensively, like, that's something I can fix.
But again, though, Trey, he's at a team that the expectation is to win. You see Lou Dort out in OKC, he ain't had no jumper. He really still don't really got a jumper. But he has time to develop it because the expectation is we all lottery picks anyway. They got time. They got time out here. They don't got the same time in Philly. I'm not gonna expect Apple to give people the same amount of time that Roku does. Like, I'm not. It's levels to it, bro. When you are on a championship contending team and we get to the playoffs and you're on the court with our other four guys who can do the thing that you're not, and people are able to load up on the other four guys because you're on the court, you're making it harder for us to achieve our goal. It's not foreign for you to get cut off at that point, bro. It's fair. It is fair. Like, I mean, would it have been great if he had more time? Absolutely. But when you are drafted to a contending team, they draft you because they see the potential. If you do not reach the potential in the time that they had set, or if it not be fair to you or I, based on what the scouting said and based on what the ROI should have been in X amount of years, then they have to eventually at some point, you got to cut it. You got to cut it. Because then if it don't happen, which it wasn't, regardless, you know what I mean? It wasn't looking great. If it be the organization, the city, you know what I mean, the pressure, whatever it be, it won't looking great for Buddy. He now can play free in Portland with no expectations. Bro, we're talking about a 15 seed.
Playoffs, bro. Reese, like they still got expectations.
No, they're not. Trey, look at the standings, bro. No, they're not. They're done, bro. They're the 13th team. They're 3 games behind the 12th, bro.
Reese, hold on. Because last time I just checked, they were in contention still for the playoffs.
They're not, bro. They're not anymore.
Musicality.
3 for 7 on their last 10.
We're behind the Pelicans and the Lakers, and we're 9th and 10th. And then 2.5 behind Mavs. So Utah could slip. OKC could slip. Pels have been slipping. We've been a little shaky. Mavs, hopefully Luka and Kyrie can come back. Like
right,
Portland's in that play-in hunt, which is why I said at the beginning.
Okay, so Trey, hear me out though, right? They got the Knicks, Celtics, Clippers, Jazz, Bulls. They can easily go 1-4 over those 5 games. Very easily.
2 and 5. Let me check what we got too on schedule wise. And what bodes well for them are a lot of teams have tough like schedules. So I mean, in these situations,
their schedule ain't easy though, Trey. After that, after the games I just told you, they have Thunder, Pelicans, Kings, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. Their schedule ain't easy, bro.
We got Pels, Rockets, and then Mavs, Magic, Suns, OKC, Bulls. Which helps.
Bro, a lot of people ain't got. I mean, they don't have it any easier or any harder than the next guy. I mean, hell, they played us last week, and they're gonna play us again next week. That ain't fun for them. Like when you're the 13th.
I guess I'm looking at teams like the Thunder and Jazz. They're not really like they're not leaps and bounds ahead of.
But they're also the Thunder and Jazz, if I'm not mistaken. They're not in the play-in either, though. We're talking about the Pelicans, Lakers, Mavericks, and Timberwolves.
If the season ended today, yes, they would not be. 2 days ago, they were in it. So it's like it flipped.
2 days ago, they were still not the 10th seed, Trey.
OKC was in the bro. OKC was recently in the play-in games. Again, it's 3 teams tied at 13. Like 13 games behind. Like they got the same record.
And they're 15 games behind. Like I'm saying, they don't control their own destiny, and they do not have an easy schedule. Maybe the people ahead of them don't either. Could they get lucky? But they still have to win their games.
And I'm not saying it's not tough to get to that play-in spot. They had playoff expectations. Like Dame coming into the season said he wanted to be in the playoffs. The organization knew they were trying to make moves to go to the playoffs. That's been known from jump. They had every realistically had playoff expectations.
We talk about their roster. We talk about their roster preseason, bro. I gave them play-in at best.
I gave them play-in too.
But that's still not. But that's 9. That's 9-10.
It's a new thing now.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, Trey. You're saying that they have playoff expectations. The play-in being when you're 9 and 10, you know what I mean? Like I get it, it's a new thing. The playoffs are 1 through 8, bro.
Well, they felt that with Jeremy Grant, Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, and the rest of them boys, that they had a playoff caliber team. Again, their expectations were legitimately playoffs. It's not like
my expectation is to wake up with $1 million tomorrow. All right, that is what I expect. I expect to wake up with $1 million tomorrow. But you know what? I ain't got the roster to do it. Trey, I'm not talking. We 10 games, we 13 games from the end of the season, bro. I'm no longer talking hypotheticals with these grown men, bro. The reality is you got 13 games, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know.
From a team standpoint, when I look at these squads, especially at the beginning of the season.
But we're not there though, Trey. We at the end.
No. Because I'm talking about at the beginning of the season, they had championship expectations. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at the beginning of the season, Nuggets. Oh, I ain't even sharing the screen. My bad.
Yo, you good. I've got the standings up over here. Right. All right, boom.
All right, so Nuggets, I wouldn't have put Portland past. Grizzlies, no. Suns, no. Warriors, Clippers, no. Notice I skipped over Kings. Wolves, no, not at the time. Not at the time. Mavs,
not at the time. They were off of Western Conference Finals berth.
But I wouldn't have been surprised too, because again, it's Dame versus Luka.
But again, though, we're talking about the Mavericks off of a Western Conference Finals run.
Yeah, but hear me out. It's Dame versus Luka. Then you got Christian Wood versus Jeremy Grant. Like in terms of what they brought in, like I could see the Mavericks slipping and Portland overachieving a little bit too. Because again, Damian Lillard has been going off. So like if they didn't have too many injuries, I think they might have done a little bit better. But we're here now. But again, at the beginning of the season, I could have legitimately made a case for the Mavs. They didn't have Kyrie at this time. So, I mean, I might factor that in. Us?
No. The Pelicans, no.
Only reason why I would have said no was because of it. Only reason why I would say yes because of injuries. Talent-wise, no. Pelicans,
no.
Dame, and then the rest of the list, we don't even need to talk about.
So that still puts them at best 9 and 10 again, Trey. I just counted it while you were doing it. Again, that is still them 9-10. Because you skipped 2 teams that are on the list. So if you take them off, they're still 9-10.
Well, hey, they felt they were playoff based.
Again, though, I can feel like I should wake up with $1 million tomorrow, Trey. My feelings don't cash out at the bank, dog. My feelings don't cash out at the bank. That's a bar, cuz they don't.
All I know is Damian Lillard should stay in Portland and bring that championship home in 3 seasons.
And if he don't, it's cool. But like this whole thing stemmed from me saying I haven't appreciated his media tour, trying to defend himself. Why are you defending yourself? If this is your stand and this is how you feel, obviously that shit keeping him up. That shit. He got some on his chest. He felt like people discredited him. He feel like people talking bad on his name because he trying to stay loyal to his sugar mama, who all she doing is feeding his pockets and not progressing him in his career. You see what I'm saying? That's another bar. All she doing is giving you money. That's not a bad situation. It's not a bad. Well, again, though, Trey, it ain't bad. But let's not. Trey, if I got a sugar mommy giving me bread, that's cool. But what I'm not gonna do is try to paint a picture like I love her, cause I don't. I love her.
You don't think he loves Portland, Reese? Come on now.
You think if he couldn't have got $500 million, he would have loved him that much? Really?
Reese, he was drafted there. They took a chance on him, especially when you think about his journey. Weber State, like I can understand him rocking with this organization. Like they took him and kept him over LaMarcus Aldridge.
What has his sugar mama done for him lately? Giannis. They took a chance on Giannis. You know what they did? They went to go get Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. You see what I'm saying? That's somebody who really paid off because they took a chance on you and wanted to see you. They wanted to maximize what they had for you.
Well, to be fair, Portland has been in the playoffs now, like 11 out of 25 seasons?
With the two-guard lineup that was not as good as the system. Now, I'm not saying their guards were not as good. They had a two-guard lineup that was not as good as the system as the team that was winning out there, period.
I mean, yeah, hindsight, yes. Like, but they were favored.
I'm not saying it's not a hindsight thing, though. Again, they drafted CJ. They drafted Nurkic. Yeah. They didn't go get nobody. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can, as an organization, when we talk about your 5-year plan and your ROI, if you want to maximize it and you feel like you got a guy who can do it, drafting talent is great. The Celtics, we drafted talent. We ain't won shit either. You see what I'm saying? Like people think I'm being crazy when I talk about Dame. I have the same amount of participation trophies as Dame do. I don't give a fuck about them though. It's not ring culture. I like chips. I like parades. Ain't no parades for a Western Conference Finals berth. It ain't. They not popping champagne. They not. Trey, ain't no. It's a parade inside my city. Yeah, it's not. You not getting no ring.
But imagine how much we give Dirk so much love and admiration for bringing home that championship wreaths. That right. That's
right.
That's
you know the difference between Dirk and Dame?
A lot of height.
Thank you.
A lot of height.
Thank you. When has a point guard legitimately won rings outside of the greatest shooter on earth?
Isaiah Thomas.
Out of how many rings, Trey? Thank you. I'm glad you said his name. You know, Buddy is in my fringe top 10. And that is why he's in my fringe top 10, because he's actually somebody who's short, who carried a team. That don't happen, bro. You need elite wings. They had him and CJ and Nurkic, no wing help.
Well, now they got wings.
7 years too late.
Is it though? Because again, Shaedon Sharpe, like, you know how I feel about Buddy. I think they got a nice little situation. Anthony Simons ain't small. Jeremy, he not a wing. He not a wing.
I like how you walk that
back.
Combo
guard. He's a combo guard by 6'5". That's not bad.
That's not bad. That back so fast though.
No, I was trying to make sure I was not making it seem like he's a wing. But like
he's 6'3". He's 6'3". I just checked his height. He's 6'3".
Stop it. Like, they gotta stop moving this height goalpost, bro. I swear he's 6'5" somewhere else. For my argument's sake, he's 6'5". Like, my boy,
he did it. They're like, okay, Dame and CJ didn't work, so let's go pay another 6'3" guard $130 million.
Well, that's why I told you too. But that's why I told you too. Though it gets tricky because they legitimately could flip Simons and get somebody else.
They can.
That's why I'm arguing with that. And so that's why I'm saying it gets a little tricky. You keep Shaedon Sharpe, or if you package Shaedon with Simons, you can really get someone.
I feel like Shaedon Sharpe is a Jaylen Brown-esque player. If he has the work ethic that Jaylen Brown does and can progress at the same rate that Jaylen Brown does, they'll be good in 6 years. That ain't 3.
6 is very tough.
6 is where Jaylen Brown is right now.
I'm factoring, but we also had Jaylen Brown pretty damn productive in year 3 too. So if I get that caliber Jaylen Brown, pairing him with Jeremy Grant and now Damian Lillard and whoever I replace and bring in for Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, I don't really like him, but like he'll be serviceable. And you find a quality big, like you get a Jacob Poeltl, like I'm not gonna get him because he's on the Raptors right now. But again, you know what I'm saying? Like you can find that replacement in 3 seasons. I think teams are showing you don't need star power as much as you think. You need a team.
Jaylen Brown averaged 13 points in his 3rd season.
Okay, so that hold on. So as my 4th to 5th option, giving me 13 while also giving me quality defensive numbers, which I do believe Shaedon Sharpe will be.
But you gotta tell me who was option 2 and 3.
We got Jeremy Grant. We got Jeremy Grant, who's giving me about 20 right now.
If he resigns.
So if he resigns, if not, I would like to assume they bring somebody else in. Portland's not a trash organization because, again, based off the last 25 years, they have gotten to the postseason the majority of those, and that's better than most teams. So
is that not a testament to the talent that they drafted? What I'm saying is, at some point, you're not going to get every draft right. Drafted players are not always going to be able to produce a ring immediately. Word to Tim Duncan. It's not a thing, Trey. At some point, you got to go spend that money. They getting dudes on rookie extensions, right? Go spend some bread.
I hear that too, but right now you still got one of your guys that you drafted and it panned out for you. And again, I think they've drafted well-ish. And so with the people that they have, also factoring in someone like a Cam Reddish too, like like I really like Portland and their culture over there, at least right now, from what I'm seeing. Like next season, I'm hoping that they can help make me look less stupid than what I probably look right now. But like I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, Reese. I really like Chauncey Billups as a coach, bro. He's a wonderful leader. Like I
agree. Chauncey is good for them. I do not disagree with that.
And so bring it, and that's something in terms of a player development. I have to imagine Shaedon Sharpe, Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Nasir Little, like that's a quality little haul right over there. And if you can flip Simon for somebody else.
So again, I just want to let you know, they have not done great in the draft. I just want to go ahead.
I said well-ish. Like everyone, they drafted CJ, they drafted LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy, Damian Lillard. They got Shaedon Sharpe.
But that's my point. That's one every 5 years, one every 3 years. Like that's cool. You gotta go take somebody's man. Okay?
I hear you.
Take your man. Because I got it like that. And it ain't even gotta be like that. Come on now. They got the money. Think about the moves that have been made in the West surrounding Portland. Kawhi and PG to the Clippers. AD and Bron to the Lakers. Luka and Kyrie on the Mavericks. Chris Paul and KD to the Suns. I mean, come on, bro. It's people spending guala around them.
Do you feel like, because like some of these teams have joined in the past and eventually are going to break up? And normally you got to get, like, for example, the Clippers got PG because they had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to give up. Like, he was hooping. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at some point in time, you do got to have those assets, which means player development comes up at some point in time. Like, yes, this was Shai year one. So I don't know how much developing we were really doing.
Okay, I was about to say, thank you, because I was about to say they paid Anthony. Shai ain't have $1 to his name when he got sent off. So I'm just like, what are we saying?
At the same time, though, I gotta assume that they did some player coaching because I did not expect this out of Shai when I saw him at Kentucky. So like, I would like to assume some type of player development went along with him, and maybe it takes the right coach. Maybe Chauncey Billups is someone who can unlock the talent that this Portland team has. Because now if you can start flipping pieces, that's something to note too. So I like Portland in this scenario personally. Like they could actually end up getting a Kawhi or PG. I see you don't agree.
Timberwolves, like the Thunder.
So you believe in the Timberwolves now?
No, what I'm saying is they spent it. That's what I'm saying. They spent it. These are the teams surrounding Portland. While Portland is paying guys that they drafted, everybody else who wants to win is going to get the guys they think they can help them win right now. Right or wrong?
Maybe they're trying to follow after the Warriors template then. Because I mean that's that.
Yeah, they're gonna
and
Trey,
the Spurs.
Trey,
I mean
Trey. What did the Warriors and the Spurs have? The greatest shooter to ever walk the planet. The greatest power forward. Thank you, Trey. Like it's different, bro. It's different.
But remember too, though, because we said that he's the greatest shooter and he changed the game because he throwing that thing from 40 out, right? But we also say the same thing about Dame. He didn't start.
But you know what? The Warriors drafted a 6'6" shooting guard, not a 6'2" shooting guard.
And guess what? The Portland Trailblazers realized their mistake. And they said, ooh, I like the 6'6", and I like JB over there, but we need a little bit more bounce. Welcome, Shaedon Sharpe. Like, you see what we did there, Reese? Talk to me.
Too late. You could have traded CJ before his second contract. He would have.
I'm not mad at you on trading CJ. I'm not saying
they did it when he was 30. What's crazy is they sent CJ to a better opportunity than Dame had. Ain't that that's some I don't want to curse on here. That is some crazy shit, man. That is some crazy shit, man. The guy who's been most loyal, right? The guy who's been most loyal.
But I mean, you don't get rid of the person that's the most loyal, I guess. Like
no, you don't, but you also don't send the guy that you tortured your most loyal guy with to a better situation.
I don't know, Reese. I feel like I don't know, man. It's like who do you get rid of, your side piece or your wife? Like and you love your side piece.
Both of them. Because your hair falling out regardless, Trey. Your hair falling out regardless. Both of them.
So long story short, Dame should not go to the Memphis Grizzlies. That's what you're saying?
No, he should today.
Okay. All right, so Grizzlies, make that happen.
He should pack his bags right now. Tell them in 13 games when Ja returns, give him this plane ticket. He will be going to Portland. Dame will be moving into Ja's crib next to T. Morant.
I mean, I was thinking maybe you might want to move him for somebody a little younger, but I guess.
A little younger than Ja?
No, Dame.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Dame.
You just said that this team can get past the first round without him. If the team can get past the first round without him, you add Dame, they can make it to the third round. Make it to the third round, shit, you can make it to the finals. I mean, shit.
Said potentially. Don't want to put a lot of eggs in that basket on FanDuel. I'm probably voting no. That's tough. I'd have to see. I'd have to look back at that. We might have to research that. Dame with
free Dame, because he won't free himself.
Dame with the Grizzlies don't sound bad. I can't.
What's the difference between Dame and Dirk?
I'm gonna be honest.
10 inches.
I'm gonna be honest.
And a shot that's unguardable.
Put Dame on the Nuggets. I'd like that. Why? He's much better than Jamal Murray.
Yeah, but you're not just getting Jamal Murray for Dame straight up. You're not.
Who else they need?
The Trailblazers? You're trading your most loyal guy, Trey.
No, I'm asking them, who else do they want? Like who
Michael
else do they want?
Porter Jr.
Who?
Who's that? That
I'm bringing some players back with me, so
that dude from Kansas.
Broad,
That dude from Kansas.
Brown,
yeah, him. But then at that point, then they have to start over again.
They don't, because if you ask them for all of that, at that point, I'm just gonna ask for Jeremy Grant back too.
You can't. I don't have him. He's not on my team, bro. He's not. He's going somewhere. He's going back to Detroit. He's going back to Detroit. He didn't re-sign. I don't got him. I just got Dame. Do you want him or not?
He's not going back.
Do you want Dame or not? This is the price of Damian Lillard. Do you want him or not?
We're getting Dame and Jeremy Grant, Mike Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Braun, and 2 first rounds.
It's not happening.
We'll get saucy. Maybe just one.
I'm not gonna go get my guy a wing and then give you my guy and the wing. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Because we apparently, Trey, we want to win.
But you just get 5 players back.
But we want to win, Trey. We've been
winning. When you only had playoff expectations because of Damian Lillard, he gone. Oh, we rebuilding.
That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there.
You got to change
playoff expectations because of one guy.
You were building it around him, just like if Steph goes, all right, you might want to rebuild. I don't think Jordan Poole's going to cut it.
They won't rebuild it around him. They was throwing bricks at him, and they just so happened to fall on each other. That ain't building. That's coincidental gravity. That ain't building. That's a bar. That's a bar. They ain't building nothing. They throwing bricks at him and gravity helping align them. That ain't them. That's God's work.
All I'm saying is, within the next 3 seasons, Damian Lillard go get a championship. Dave, help me out, please. I'm pulling for you, champ.
Look, I like how you said he will get a championship and not Portland. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Makes sense to me.
In Portland.
Nah. Don't take that from yourself. You could have almost been right. You had to walk it back again. You could have almost been right.
Oh man. Nah, I appreciate this though, Reese. I appreciate this, man. You got anything you want to say before we close up shop?
Nah, man. Great talks. Free Dame. Free my cousin. Free them all, bro. They ain't even doing nothing. They deserve to be free, man. I'm gone.
All right, everybody.
I'm gone.
This is gonna be funny when I clip it up, because we made a reference at the beginning too. It was out, and it was like a little bit out of order. That's gonna be funny.
Damn, why are y'all beating the Pelicans? I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a friend who a Lakers fan, and he had so much hope for y'all, and I just love that it ain't been working. And I told him that y'all was gonna lose to the Pelicans, and y'all not losing, and I'm sad about it.
God damn.
But I told him, just like I told you though, y'all got lucky that Trey Murphy had 40 the other night. It's a law of averages. He just won't gonna do it again. You got lucky.
Well, I mean, again, it's still early.
No, it definitely is early, but the Pelicans don't have no defenders. I mean, not no defenders. They don't have the scorers to keep up with y'all scores.
Like, they really are just missing Zion. Like, that's like, well, I take that back. They do have the scorers. That's the thing.
Not on the court though. Brandon Ingram ain't playing.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I told Freddie he was gonna be day to day. Then they don't really have too much excuses, in my opinion. Oh damn.
Well, CJ's 2 of 7 right now, so that's kind of hurting them. That's what I'm saying. It's early. Everybody except for Valley, hitting their threes, and Bi. Meanwhile, we having a nice little field day. Like D-Lo and Beasley are both going on. I don't know what the fuck happened to D-Lo, but I appreciate this.
Rudy Gobert.
You think?
Is
Rudy
Gobert's a poison.
Is he really that? Let me stop recording.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here.